right now is professional cuddler Keeley Shoup. Keeley, let me say I'm very excited to talk to you. Thank you for joining our radio program this morning.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm so excited to chat with you.
Now, there's a lot of curiosity in me about what services you provide as a professional cuddler. So just like lay it out to me like I meet you and I'm like, hey, what do you do for a living? Like, tell me what you do.
Yeah, so human touch, the need is just as much of a human need as water, as air, as anything else that we would need for sustenance and for healthy lives. So what I do is I provide a safe, structured environment for people to access platonic touch to help with symptoms of depression and anxiety, to help with loneliness and staving off touch deprivation that's kind of pandemic in our culture beyond the other pandemic that we deal with.
And so when you started to get in this line of work, did people look at you and go, huh, a cuddlist? I can't believe that you'd actually try to make money doing that.
Absolutely. I've been doing this work for about 6 years now, and that has very commonly been the reaction from people. And it's a shame because I think that it's so universally needed, but people don't necessarily know that they need it.
I read too that you charge $100 per hour. Now, is that the high dollar client, or is that just normal? You're gonna go cuddle for $100 an hour?
The industry standard is about $80 an hour, and then the more experience and the more certifications that you have, the higher that rate goes. But also, if you put it in line with like traditional talk therapies, with traditional licensed counseling, it's about on par.
Do you, while cuddling, also talk? Is there anything off limits to talk about? I'm just trying to imagine what we would do if I paid you to come cuddle.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yes, talking is certainly an option. One of the things that's not understood necessarily in the name, right? Professional cuddler, you wouldn't know. There's also a whole lot of boundaries and consent education that goes on. We work on getting people to sometimes process trauma. So we're talking about a lot of stuff. It can be a really casual, fun, just like nurturing environment, and it can also be pretty intense therapeutic practice.
On with us now, cuddlist Keeley Shoup. And it sounds like you're on an airplane now. When you're talking about cuddling out loud, do you think are people like looking at you going, what is she talking about? She's a professional cuddler?
Yeah, I'm getting off an airplane at LAX right now, and I'm looking around. No one's really giving me a side eye, but they're all probably being polite.
So as a professional cuddler, do you ever get creeps that hit you up and like, hey, I want to cuddle, and then they send like a weird emoji?
That is a great question. And, the word creep is pretty loaded. So what I will say is there are some people who don't necessarily understand the therapeutic service that I provide and are looking for something else. What I tend to do with those people is have a conversation. All potential clients get a screening call. And if they are looking for something I provide, I first validate that need and desire in them, say that it's normal and human, and I'm just not the right place to necessarily get that need met. So it's like if you were going to a cardiologist and asking them to help treat cancer. You need to go to an oncologist for that. No disrespect, no shame, just a different specialty.
So if someone says, I need to cuddle, will you travel to them or do they come to your space?
I typically host. Traveling incurs a travel fee, and so it's just a bit more cost-effective and more convenient for me to be able to host in my space. I've got a cuddle studio, so it is an environment that's already catered. When people go to like their homes or whatnot, you've got all your stresses of your life in that space. You've got maybe your dogs or your piled up mail, whatever it is. There's lots of distractions, so I can create a way more soothing and specific environment.
If you guys want to see what Keeley's all about, at Chicago Cuddle Therapy or KeeleyShoup.com or Shoup. Is it Shoup or Shoup? How do you say your last name, Keeley?
Shoup, you had it right.
Yeah. Okay, so SHOUP, KeeleyShoup.com. So you're pardon this dumb question, but because I've never heard of anyone doing this, like, are you rich? Are you poor? Like, are you able to support like, what kind of lifestyle can you live being a professional cuddler?
Yeah, I totally appreciate the question. I don't believe that I am rich. I live in Chicago. I'm able to live in the city in a place that I share with my partner, and so I live comfortably middle class, I suppose.
Your partner, do they care that you cuddle other folks? Are they like, you must have learned that cuddling someone else? I don't know. Does that affect the relationship at all?
No, it doesn't. They're very proud and appreciative of the therapeutic work I do.
Yeah. Like, my mind's a little blown right now that because I'm sure this is needed. I mean, she went to college at Ball State. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly right. After Ball State, I went to Chicago, and I was working at a mortgage company when I found out about Cuddlist and the great work that they do, and got the certification program. The training program is super quality from Cuddlist. And yeah, so it was a very different avenue that I took my life down from where I started.
Amy, you have any questions for the professional cuddlist?
Yeah, I mean, well, first I was worried about your safety at times, but if they're coming to you, then I guess that helps. But have you ever had to end a session because someone, like, it just got awkward or weird, and you're like, okay, we got to stop cuddling, you need to leave?
Yeah, in the 6 years I've been doing it, that has happened maybe 3 times. And all that is, and I never felt that I was in any physical danger. There are some people who did not get it, just didn't get that it's therapeutic, and that's the point of it. And so before it went any further, I said, let's stop. I don't want to waste your time anymore, and I certainly don't want my time wasted. We're going to go ahead and end. You can get a refund. Let's just end this.
Wow.
And that was all it was.
What about tickling? On or off limits?
It depends. So I hate surprise tickling. That's not a thing I enjoy. However, if it's something that so I have had clients who want to play and like really be in this state of like, think about a little kid playing. And so in that mindset, I can kind of get my head wrapped around it and be okay with it. But I have to be in the mindset.
I guess if a married couple, right? If the guy, I'm just going to do a hypothetical here. If the guy who's married comes in and goes, hey, I need to pay you to cuddle with me, does the wife feel like, why do you have to go to someone to cuddle? Like, I'm right here. Does that situation ever happen?
It absolutely does. And one thing I love is that I've got several clients with spouses who send their spouses send them to me. They're like, no, I don't need as much touch as you do. My love language is, say, acts of service, or it's quality time. And you are too snuggly and huggy and touchy for me. Go be clingy with someone else, and then you can come home, and we can have this really fulfilled and happy relationship where you're getting your needs met, and I don't have to do it.
And again, part of my dumb question here, because this is all new to me. Do people ever come and feel like they're like want to be a baby? Like there's something happened when they were a baby, and they're like wanting to be a baby, and it's like
rocked.
Yeah, like treat me like a little boo-boo baby and like burp me. And is that ever a thing?
Okay, so not quite in the way that you're talking about. There is such a thing as age regression therapy, and that just simply deals with everyone has a young part of themselves. It is simply a part of our personalities that are still fairly young, or that remember those nurturing, loving feelings when we were kids. And some people want to go and sometimes heal some of their childhood wounds, and so we'll do a little bit of age regression, but there isn't any burping involved, there's no diapers involved, none of the more extreme things that people think about when they think about that.
If I ever go
but I've read stories, I've read children's books to clients before, because that was a really really comforting experience.
Oh, wow.
Like you hit him with some Bernstein Bears right in the middle of it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Amelia
Exactly
Bedelia.
right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, little Clifford the Big Red Dog, for sure.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so
yeah.
when I used to wait tables, I ate so much chicken that when I got home, I didn't want to eat any more chicken because there was always extra chicken at the end of the night. So they were like, hey, we have chicken. If you want to eat it before you go, eat the chicken. And so I was burnt of chicken. Now, do you get burnt of cuddling when you go home? You don't want to cuddle because you've been cuddling all day at work.
Never, not once.
Okay.
I have an infinite capacity for cuddles. I might need sleep and to do other things, but no, I pretty much always want to snuggle, and I think that's not true for everyone, right? But that's one of the reasons why I'm suited for this, because I friggin' love it.
She is a cuddlist, a professional cuddlist, Keeley Shoup. You can follow her on Instagram or just go see what she's all about at Chicago Cuddle Therapy, KeeleyShoup.com. We have a guy on the show named Lunchbox that's sitting back. He cannot believe this is even a thing. I'm going to let him ask one question. I don't know what he's going to ask. And if it's inappropriate, just say, hey, I don't want to answer that, Keeley. And I give you full.
That sounds good.
Okay. I just want to let you know that I don't know what's coming. Okay, Lunchbox, you get one question.
I want to know what you wear when you're cuddling.
That's a good question.
Yeah, no, totally fair question. I typically wear yoga pants or some sweatpants or something comfortable depending on the temperature, and a t-shirt. There is a minimum of outerwear shorts, basketball shorts, not boxers, and a thick strap tank top. That's the minimum required. of both participants.
Do you spoon? Are you big spoon or little spoon?
I guess it's what the client wants.
That's a great question, and I love it. So either, and one of my favorite things is that a lot of times guys will come in, have a session, and they've never been the little spoon. And a lot of them are really surprised to find out how really comforting and like kind of lovely it is to be the little spoon.
I live that
get
life.
to give them the opportunity, and that's awesome.
Yeah, I live little spoon life, so I fully appreciate that. All right, well, listen, this has been quite eye-opening to me. Yeah, Lunchbox, we already gave you one question.
No, I got one more. So
okay, she's in the airport.
I know.
Okay, real quick.
Do you cuddle in the bed, under the covers? How does it work?
Oh, I typically do not cuddle in bed. So my cuddle studio has this lovely, gigantic couch, and I've got a lot of like a futon mattress laid out. So it's really lovely, but it's not a bed just because of the association for people. It's kind of hard to get your mind out of the like preconceived notion of what that means.
Right.
And is it like when you go get a massage where they pick the music and it's like, wow, or do they get to pick like their own iHeartRadio playlist?
So either or, I can provide music, but one of my favorite things is some clients will actually create or curate their own playlist based on the mood they want, the emotions they want to feel, the vibe that they want to set, and that can be really cool.
Do they? Oh, sorry.
Well, we're out of time.
Oh, man. Okay.
Real quick, Amy.
Well, do they ever start crying?
Yes, all the time.
Oh.
All emotions are welcome in sessions. People cry like all the time.
There she is.
Wow.
A fascinating interview here
Can I come?
with Cuddlist Keeley Shoup. Follow her at Chicago Cuddle Therapy, KeeleyShoup.com. $100 an hour.
Wow.
Did you fly to LA to cuddle?
For having me.
Oh, yeah, of course. Did you fly to LA to cuddle?
I am flying LA to both have fun and to work. So
All right,
yes,
there
I'll
she
do
is.
that.
Hey, what a great guest. All right, thank you, Keeley. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye-bye. And listen, here's the thing, right? I also acknowledge that's really weird. It is, right? Like, to me, I hear this, I'm like, wow, I can't believe someone makes $100 cuddling. But apparently some people need that.
It sounds
Yeah.
legit.
Like I was hearing it as like, oh, this is kind of intimate and yeah, weird. And like, why would someone do that? But I can see based on what she was saying, how it can be therapeutic for some. And it sounds like she has healthy boundaries with it. And there's rules and guidelines and people can't get carried away or they'll be asked to leave.
I feel like you need security there all the time watching.
Yeah.
Like you need
for
somebody
sure.
else standing right over the top of you going, Herb, are you doing that?
Yeah, and it also sounds like she's not the only one doing it. Like she went to school for this.
There's an
Yeah.
industry standard.
That's
What the
crazy.
heck?
She's a certified cuddlist.
It's a Bobby Bones show.
Hey.